Taskmaster. There was a man named Taskmaster. He had mastered a task that would give him powers of reflex and strength and conditioning. He would be able to defeat any enemy. But let us go back to the start of his journey. His name was Ryan, a man stuck in a purgatory of misery and depression. Ryan wanted to get a job and a girlfriend, but he was stuck with no job hiring and no girl to keep him company. He set on his mission to change himself and change the world one task at a time. His first task was to clean his whole apartment. He used to go live cleaning his apartment, but the trolls intercepted his life, and he had to clean on his own. He cleaned today, and he will keep on cleaning so until he finishes. After he finished, he set out to talking to as many people as possible to keep building his community. After the end of the day, he uploaded videos from the past books and the romance series. He smokes a ball and writes his next story. God damn it. Let's sit down. Oh. God damn it, open up. There we go. His second task was to kill one troll. He decided to kill a troll named Jeremy. Jerry was threatening to kill him online, so he set out to slice that motherfucker's neck. He spoke to those who knew him to get intel. Then once acquired, he went to Michigan by running and got there in a week. He entered the house of Jeremy and threw down a flash grenade. Jeremy saw him and started to fire, but amongst the smoke he attacked, and Jeremy was stunned by an attack to the groin. Now stunned, Taskmaster killed Jeremy. With Jeremy gone, his cult ended. Now Taskmaster could move on to his third task. His third task was to end hatred, but this would be his hardest task. The man who was consumed by hatred the most was Ian Foote. He located his address through much searching and showed up at his door. That Ian retreated into his apartment, not answering. Taskmaster kicked it in and found Ian covered in a corner. Taskmaster offered him his hand, and Ian grabbed it and put a knife to his throat. Taskmaster used one of his tasks to unlock rage mode. In rage mode, he had to pull Ian onto the ground. He body slammed him, and he had him pressed to the ground. With no escape, Ian begged for mercy, but since Ian had already used that as a way to going the ground against him, he decided this was his last chance. Ian gave up and told Taskmaster of his mortal enemy, Saginaw, who had been secretly plotting against him since they stopped being friends. Taskmaster got the directions from Ian as Ian joined him to catch another person for his team. Saginaw awaited them in a flaming prison that can only be unlocked someone challenged him to fight. If someone challenged him to fight, Taskmaster arrives and uses another task token to open up his cage. He opens it and Saginaw steps out attacking him instantly. Alright, that's it right now. Saginaw is afraid. Taskmaster dodges a left hook and encounters with a right hook. Damage Saginaw retreats, but the Taskmaster doesn't let him escape. He trips him and Saginaw lay on the ground helpless. Taskmaster reaches out and gives him a hand, saying, "If you join me, you live. If you don't, you die." Saginaw replies, "I'll never join you. Just kill me." So reluctantly, Taskmaster kills him and checks off the list. Kills Saginaw, earning him another task token. After all this fighting, Taskmaster goes to sleep. Sleeping for 8 hours, he wakes up to go to his place of meeting people, recruiting him to his army. He met a kid, and he was going to ask her about why she wasn't responding. to text, but as he got there, suddenly what does that say, dude? And what the fuck is it? A meteor. That's okay. A meteor fell and a giant cockroach attacks him. He lays out traps to kill the spawn from him, who, while blocking atrocious that were sprayed on him with a shield. Roach King, you should just give up. You cannot win. What the fuck does it say? If that's a challenge, then if that's a challenge, I'm gonna take. What the fuck does that say? Huh? I don't know. So if that's a challenge, I'm gonna take it, says Taskmaster. The roach sprays, aims, and Taskmaster jumps over him and has him by the neck. Roach King says, I surrender. But Taskmaster's hate of bugs leads to him killing him anyways. After that, he checks off kill Roach King off the task list. After this, he goes home and takes a rest day where he just chills and smokes weed. But he finds that there is no such thing as a rest day for a hero. Every day he grinds until he gets a girl. This girl's better than he's ever had before, but before he can get her, he has to work on himself. He goes to the kitchen, eats a bowl of cereal, and gets ready to go to Friendship Center. He leaves on his way and sees a shooting star, but amazed to see it in this light, he sees something crash in the distance that would take him away from his pleasant life. A much harder adversary rises to challenge Taskmaster. It is the man known as Soul Taker. His whole mission is to take souls and send them to hell. Ryan finds word of the attack through his feed that goes through his glasses. One of which Ryan found out where he is hiding. Ryan in a place known as the Cantina. Ryan, okay, I'm gonna go there. End of transmission. Ryan kicks through the door of the cantina and ends. What's that say there? And it's to guys who want separate. They stay talking to each other. Ryan, where is Sotek? Sotek, stop talking to his friend. Can't you see we're talking? Ryan, well, I'm here to end your reign. Sotek, I own nothing but your soul. Sotek, hammer kicks and Ryan dodges and goes to anger mode with his task token. Ryan, I have you captured. Now, what can you do? They collect another member to their team. I will join you. Oh, that's what it said. Ryan, I have you captured. Now, what can you do? I will join you. They collect another member to their team. All right. Ryan goes to sleep and wakes up and goes to the Friendship Center. They talk about publishing his books. They share their stories of their weekends. They ask what is working in my life right now. And Ryan replies, YouTube. Ryan writes in his notebook, I feel a little bit better every day thanks to caring people here. I met a sweet girl that makes me optimistic about life. I used to be sad all the time and lonely. Here's to new beginnings thanks to all the love you all give me. I'm trying to get out more now and stop being afraid, even though there was a shooting recently in my neighborhood. December 9 covers at the station. Ryan finds out that the number Kayla gave him is a home number. Ryan gets back home and finishes up some more tasks that need to be done. He takes a break and smokes, drinking some beer, enjoying the peace he has now that he has accomplished so much. But the day wasn't over. A new evil arises in the distance as much more powerful adversary, Shrek. A much more powerful adversary, Shrek. Shrek acquires Ryan's number from someone he knows and trusted and calls him. Shrek, hey Ryan, I just wanted to invite you up. Damn it. Invite you to a party at my swamp. There will be women and booze and weed. Come here or be square. Ryan, okay, I'll be there. He hangs up. The next day, Ryan sits at the Shrek swamp. He finds his place on the GPS. It is miles away from him after you take a portal through smoking weed. He takes a bong rip and travels there and then walks 15 miles by foot to his swamp. He arrives as Shrek greets him and tells him how much of a fan he is on him and says, let's smoke. After a 7-second pause, they laugh and smoke some weed together. Shrek also lets Ryan try his dabs. After they smoke for a while, Shrek instructs Ryan on where the bathroom is and how people have gotten flushed by accident, so you have to be careful. As Ryan goes to the bathroom, Shrek slips a sleeping syrup into his drink. When Ryan gets back, Shrek tells him to relax and not worry about anything. Ryan found that comment suspicious as he never stated he was stressed when he got there. Ryan reluctantly drinks the Sprite. Suddenly the room starts spinning and Shrek stood above Ryan laughing maniacally. In a dream, Ryan sees Shrek saying, this is my swap. I don't let just anyone in my home. You have been chosen to take on Cobes, who is a YouTube sensation. But first you must prove to me that you're worthy enough to take him on. Ryan, what must I do? Shrek, you must train with me at my swamp, fighting me daily before you're ready to fight Cobes. But not only will we be training normal combat, we will also be training you in guitar to destroy the shield around Cobes and then open him up to melee. Ryan, okay, I'll become your student. Ryan, Shrek, let's fight. Shrek attacks with a combo. Ryan sees the combo but doesn't react in time. He gets knocked down by Shrek. Shrek offers his hand, but Ryan gets up and wipes the blood off his mouth. Ryan, I'm not done yet. Shrek, I didn't expect you to be. Shrek lunges at Ryan's legs and Ryan tries to kick Shrek in the skull, but Shrek bites off his big toe. Ryan screams, then Shrek decides to end the fight. He takes Ryan to a bed and puts his toe back on him and wraps it. Ryan asks, how did you learn how to fight like that? Shrek, I fought in many battles, including the one you've never heard about, the Battle of Dragons and Ogres. He shares the story of how he fought dragons and almost lost his life if it weren't for his friend Donkey. He saved him from a blow to the head. After Shrek heals Ryan's foot, he tells him to put on a suit he made for Ryan. It's a suit that increases Ryan's muscle mass through tiny fibers in the suit that repairs muscles faster, so that when he trains, he can recover faster and can train for longer and harder. Shrek instructs Ryan to do thousands of push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups, basically all the ups, and fight him every day. Ryan trains with Shrek for a couple months and becomes more powerful every day. Finally, Shrek says it's time to fight Cobes, but he says first we must First, we must train your guitar skills. You're almost ready. You mastered melee. Now you must master the guitar. He instructs Ryan to learn as much guitar as he can because Cobes is very dangerous with his axe and will employ them in battle. He is given a list of songs to learn before he can battle Cobes, one being the national anthem. Ryan spends night and day training until finally Shrek says, you're ready. Shrek gives Ryan the location of Cobes and Casper. Ryan heads there through the smoke portal. Ryan takes Ian the Hateful with him and Soul Taker. Cobes is there waiting for them to show up. He is prepared with daily meditation, but Ryan has also been working on meditation at the Friendship Center. They stare into each other's eyes before Cobes lunges out and pulls his wand out to Taskmaster's neck. Cobes, well, is this who everyone has been telling me I look like? Cobes spit in Taskmaster's face. Cobes, I look nothing like you. I'm way better looking. Cobes uses Taskmaster as a shield while carrying him back to his lair. Inside, he feeds Taskmaster to the rats. Ryan, surrounded by rats, decides to tell Cobes what he knows. Cobes, so what do you know about the man named Cooler? Ryan, I met him when I was making YouTube videos. Cobes, he's a far more powerful adversary than you. I'm glad you decided to fight me instead. You're too easy, but I want a challenge. Bring me Cooler, and I will release you. Ryan reluctantly agrees and looks for his friend Cooler to bring him to Cobes for a wand battle. Cooler was an excellent magician who knew how to craft wands that could destroy Cobes, so Ryan knew Cooler would be the one to slay him. Cobes, as if you could defeat me, Ryan. I have a proposition, Cobes. I'm all ears, Ryan. I never showed you what I can do on guitar. Cobes, show me. Ryan brings out his guitar and plays the national anthem with a beer bottle. Stunned, Cobes throws Ryan into a portal and tells him, "Get me Cooler. Your skills are not powerful enough to defeat me." Ryan enters the house of Cooler. There are magic traps everywhere. Ryan trips one and Cooler appears in the midst of a cloud of smoke. Cooler, you summoned me? Ryan, yes, only you can defeat Cobes. Cooler, I knew you were ready yet. Ryan, I know he is more powerful than I thought. Shrek trained me, but not with magic. I need your help to defeat Cobes. Cooler tells Ryan to stay back while he takes care of Cobes. Cooler opens a portal with his wand and enters into Cobes' house. Cobes, knowing Cooler would come, puts a spell of protection on him and wears his invisibility cloak. Cooler searches the whole house and cannot find him until he sees crumbs leading to a room with a bunch of food sprawled up on a bed. Cobes has been making food reviews. Cooler sees a floating pizza and kicks Cobes in the face, then pulls his wand out, pointing right between his eyes. Cooler, this is the last time I deal with you. Cobes, I'm sorry I didn't realize how skilled you were with wands. Cooler, we shall see what the world has in store for you when I'm not there to protect you. Cobes, crying, gets up and shakes Cooler's hand. Cobes, I will not attack Ryan anymore. Cooler, now off with you. Cobes runs off into the darkness of his house. Having defeated Cobes, Cooler reports to Taskmaster and tells him to check off defeat Cobes. He checks it off and Ryan returns to his apartment, feeling worn out and ready to sleep. But Cobes would not be the last of his enemies. Ryan wakes up having slept 8 hours and sees that time has stopped at 8 because the clock won't move. He doesn't know what to do. He calls Cooler, but Cooler doesn't answer. Someone has stopped time. He walked outside and everyone was frozen. He traced his own steps back to a bar he had went to. Everyone there was frozen. Finally, he decides to look in a book at a library entitled Taskmaster. The master was said to be in control of time. He begins to search for the person who stopped time. Ryan looks everywhere that he can look, but then finds a map in the book which leads him directly to the Time Master. Upon entering his house, he saw a hallway of clocks, each with different times. Once he made it to a big room with a giant desk. He saw an old man with a beard and long hair that was white. Ryan, Time Master. The man turned around and slapped Ryan. Time Master, I don't go by that name anymore. My name is Cho. Ryan remembers Cho from the Run Man books he wrote. Cho, I've been waiting for you. Ryan, but you died from Trump killing you. Cho, I can never die, as I am made of time itself. The only way to destroy me is by ending time. Ryan, why did you stop time? Cho, to get you to come to me. Ryan, why? Cho, because Shrek is evil. He wants to kill you. Ryan, really? Really, he's taught me everything he knows on guitar. Cho, well, he hasn't taught you how to defeat him. Ryan, why would I need to defeat him? Cho, because he wants to use your crushed Kayla against you to get you to end your life. Cho, and he's not going to stop until you do. Ryan, learning this, decides to go back, but not before Cho teaches him time training, which he must record now. He must record how long he works out for every day and work out at least 1 hour a day. Cho sends him videos every day while he trains with Shrek. He learns from his enemy and his friend. Once he learns how to defeat Shrek from Cho, Ryan returns to Shrek and asks him, why did you put something in my drink when I first met you? Shrek, to make you more impressionable. Ryan, I knew you were evil. Shrek, what are you going to do about it, pussy? Ryan trips Shrek and Shrek's face hits the table. Shrek, you can't defeat me that easily. Shrek slides to the right, dodging Ryan's punch. Shrek kicks Ryan in the foot, stunning him. Taskmaster uses the Task Token to unlock Fist of Fury, where he could punch 10 times faster. He throws a volley of punches. Shrek dodges every attack and uses Cataclysm on him from his Task Token. Ryan is put in a catatonic state where he is a vegetable. He tries to wake from it but can't. He looks through the menu on Task Token Center. He buys Unfreeze and breaks out of it. Shrek grabs his guitar and plays Sweet Child of Mine and burns off the Taskmaster's hair. But bald now, Ryan strikes with his guitar playing Battery by Metallica. A lightning bolt hits Shrek, killing him on impact. Shrek crawls through the table of his now desolate house. Ryan offers to save him if he will join him. Shrek says, "No, I am defeated. Let me fade away." As he said this, Shrek's body faded out of existence. Ryan is finally saved again and meets up with his friends, and they all throw a party. Ryan meets a strange old man who calls himself Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi speaks to him about becoming his new teacher. Ryan accepts the training and agrees to go into his house every day to train. Mr. Miyagi teaches him wax on, wax off, and sand the floor and paint the fence. And Ryan starts to understand that work is martial arts and we are all martial artists. Ryan also trains with Cooler, who teaches him wand making. Ryan figured since tomorrow Kayla won't be at Friendship Center, he would go to the park with the forest and get a branch or get a wand so he could grow his hair back with magic. Cooler gives word that there's a music event close by. Ryan checks it out. Suddenly, in the middle of a concert with Slipknot, a giant tentacle monster rises out of the floor. Cooler, remember what I taught you? Ryan pulls out his wand. It was a beginner wand. He casts a spell of protection on him and Cooler. The master spewed bullets in their direction, frying both of their brains. The monster spewed bullets in their directions, frying both of their brains. In a fried state, they couldn't comprehend what was happening. Cooler, okay, Ryan, use Flipendo. Ryan, but that spell's not compatible with this monster. Cooler, trust me. Ryan fires the spell, destroying the monster on impact. Ryan celebrated by opening an IPA and telling Ryan to chug that shit jokingly. Ryan took it literally and faced that shit. Afterwards, both of them meet up with Mr. Miyagi, and they speak of joining communities with a bigger community that has immense knowledge of crafting. Ryan has more to learn, but he's learning. Ryan can't sleep because he's worried on antidepressants. He keeps writing his book. Ryan eventually falls asleep and wakes up in the morning to go to Friendship Center. Someone there teaches him Spanish. Abuelo means grandpa. Abuela means grandma. Adios, goodbye. Espacio is husband. Espacio is wife. Hola, hello. La siento, sorry. Della mile. Where are you from? Marzo is March. September, October is October, November is November, December is December. Hermano is 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10, Once 11, 17, 18, lunes, Tuesday, Domingo, Saturday, Monday, Julio, Wednesday. After Ryan leaves Freshness Center, he finds a branch that he can carve into a wand and follows Cooler's instructions. While crafting a wand, he gets word that someone named Danny has started a cult. While watching the news, this cult pretended to be animals, and they worship Danny, whose name was Danimal. Danny orders his cult to find Taskmaster so that they can recruit him in. Mr. Miyagi warns him that it's a trap and that he shouldn't go looking for him. Despite Mr. Miyagi's order, Ryan sets out to defeat Danny. On his way to find Danimal, he sees a bunch of cats that lead him to an alleyway. At the end of the alley was a mental hospital. Ryan remembers seeing on the news that he was put into a mental hospital for his and other safety. Ryan remembers Mr. Miyagi warning that he was dangerous and perhaps beyond Ryan's skill level. Ryan's current skill level was 30. In order to level up, he had to defeat one more enemy, which would unlock Barricade, which would lock Jeremy in another prison. Taskmaster knew that Danimal would be powerful enough to escape the mental hospital, but not powerful enough to escape Barricade, so he didn't let him have a chance to escape. There was guards posted on every side of the building. The only way in would be to sneak past the guards somehow. Ryan pulled out his notebook that showed his story of how Wee Men did stealth to get past guards. So Ryan copied what he saw from the book. Ryan put on his invisibility cloak that he got from Coles when Cooler defeated him. 2 guards were posted by the door, but he would need a way to open the doors as they were locked. He needed to steal a key from the guards. One guard goes through the gate. Ryan tries to get there in time, and the door closed. He got close up to one of the guards on the right side, but the guard senses something and fires at him, destroying his invisibility cloak, revealing Taskmaster to the guard. Hurt, Ryan quickly knocks the guard's gun out of his hand, grabs it, and fires the other guard. The other guard points his gun at Ryan and tells him to leave or he will shoot him. Ryan, hurt, decides to retreat and come up with another plan to get in. Taskmaster goes back to his apartment while the bullet is distracted from him by his suit, and then he is healed. Taskmaster goes back to his apartment to craft a wand that can manipulate the guards. This is his first wand. The wand he had before was one that Cooler gave him, but he needed to craft his own because that wand was not equipped with the manipulate spell. To equip spells, the wand crafter needed to make a wand that they could imbue the spell into as they make it. He finds a stick that was from an evergreen branch and begins carving. He finds a stick that was from an evergreen branch and begins carving. He crafts the wand after carving for an hour. He imbues the wand with manipulate and waits further instruction from Cooler. Cooler teaches Ryan how to carve. Ryan crafts a red wand with a sharp tip. Ryan heads to the mental hospital and sees the guards while he hides behind a trash can. He uses the manipulation spell and the guards become distracted, and he quickly grabs the guard's keys and vanishes behind another trash can. Then goes to the door and unlocks it. Once inside, he hits the lights and runs to the cell where he finds Danny. Danny, who goes there? Ryan, someone who you should fear. Danny, well, I don't, but I do want you to join me, and I'll teach you how to be the best version of yourself. Ryan, I'm not listening to you. Danny, you don't want to be better? Ryan, well, I do, but I just want to know whose side are you on? Danny's sides. Ryan, are you on my side or your own side? Danny, it doesn't matter whose side I'm on. I'm trying to help you. Ryan, what must I do? Danny, join me and we shall make your life better. Ryan decides to join him. There, Danny takes him into his room. His room was full of scribbling art, writing on the walls. Danny says, "You know, I've studied animals. I've learned that they have only a few things they do: eat, fuck, and hunt and sleep." Ryan, where are you going with this? Us humans are more complicated, but we share the same things in common as animals. Danny, us and animals are the same. We must hunt to survive. Ryan, not everyone hunts. Danny, they work while someone else kills the animals to buy them from the hunter. Ryan, so what do you say? Danny, getting frustrated, and explains, it all boils down to working because work is what sustains us. Danny shows Ryan the rest of the people in the mental hospital that we recall that what the fuck is this? That we're all part of his cult. Ryan, I misjudged you. Danny, it's fine. I'm not mad. A man who has short hair and glasses introduced himself as Lexter. Lexter was into computers and fixing them. He had assembled his computer and was using that to make YouTube videos. Ryan spoke to him about making his books into movies with him. After they speak, Danny tells Ryan that he needs to leave because the warden was coming back and would be mad if he saw me with you. No one is allowed to be in here without his permission. Ryan listens to his advice and leaves for his apartment. He goes to sleep and wakes to a call from Danny. Danny, the warden knows you were here. He called the cops. Ryan takes whatever he can fit in a bag and leaves. When finally he finds a place to stay, he decides to stay with a man named Oliver. Oliver tells him that he's safe from the cops here. His house was small with curtains everywhere. He could conceal the inside. He had been collecting amethyst and crystals. Oliver doesn't tell anyone that Ryan is staying there, but Ryan is unable to leave the apartment for the fear of the cops arresting him. After several weeks, Ryan has the courage to go outside. He decides to call Daddy. "What up, dude?" says Daddy. "Daddy, how am I going to be a part of your team with the warden in the way?" "Daddy, you could fight him, and then we will own the mental hospital. We will own the mental hospital as our base." This is supposed to be R, like this R. Daddy, oh, I will fight him. Okay, Ryan, okay, I will fight him. Daddy, if you fail, the warden will lock us in restraints where we can't move at all. Ryan, okay, Daddy, so don't lose. Ryan wakes up and goes to the friendship center. A woman is talking about how she's been depressed and can barely get out of bed, but decides to come there to change her life. She says that just doing one thing a day is better than nothing. Overcome evil with good. Ryan writes down what they say. You leave early, you get there on time. You leave on time, you get there late. Ryan takes all the classes and gets a ride back from someone to his apartment. He does some cleaning when he gets back and gets a call from Danny. "Come to the mental hospital, I have a task for you." Ryan gets there by foot and Danny what does it say? Danny sneaks out the back when the guards aren't looking to meet up with him. Ryan asks, "What is the task?" "Danny, get my longsword from the armory and I'll help you defeat the warden." Ryan agrees to the task, and the task appears on the hollow projection from his wrist. He travels to the armory at night. He uses wand to manipulate the guards into leaving their post. He sees an open window and darts through it. Just as a guard turns that direction, the guard, suspicious of what he just saw, move closer to the window. He goes through the window and sees nothing. Taskmaster hides behind a pillar. The guard then goes back to his post. In the armory, there are many powerful weapons. Ryan looks for the sword using the sketch that Danny drew to locate it. In the center of a room with a vault, he could see through the glass vault, and there was the long sword. The glass was unbreakable. He decides to pick the lock, but it wouldn't budge. He needed to acquire the key to the vault. He goes back to the center room and goes upstairs to find a guard sleeping with the key hanging from his pocket. Taskmaster walks slowly, making sure not to make any noise, and starts to grab the key. The guard wakes up for a second, and Ryan hides under the table. The guard, noticing nothing, goes back to sleep. Ryan quickly takes the key from his pocket, but doing so with care and precision. After he gets the key, he unlocks the vault and then retrieves the sword from Danny and heads back. After what it seems like an hour, Taskmaster arrives to the mental hospital, and Danny calls Ryan and tells him it's time. Danny tells Ryan to go to the front and challenge the warden. Taskmaster, I'm here to challenge the warden, he says to the guard at the front. The guard radios in the warden. He's here. The warden steps out, a huge Goliath. Warden, this is who challenges me? The warden laughs. This will be too easy. The warden draws his giant sword and strikes Ryan in the abdomen. Ryan finally pulls out the long sword. He has a huge gash in his abdomen, bleeding. Taskmaster does a downward slash and sees Danny. Danny tells Ryan to throw him his sword. Ryan throws Danny his sword, but now Ryan is defenseless against the monster. The warden puts Ryan in a chokehold and watches as the blood drains from Ryan's abdomen. The warden, I could kill you now, but I'd rather watch the blood drain from your intestines as I choke you to death. The warden, not seeing Danny coming up behind him, Danny trips the warden, and the warden drops Ryan as he falls backwards. Danny, wasting no time, quickly stabs the warden in the heart, ending his life. With very little time, Danny takes him into the asylum and bandages him up to stop the bleeding. Danny, you're lucky you got out of there alive. Ryan, I know you saved me. After that, Ryan trusted Danny even more. But little did he know, Danny only wanted to save him so he could earn trust so that Danny could kill Ryan himself. Ryan wakes up and Danny tells him about a way to make his abilities stronger. He tells him of a fountain of blood that he must bathe in to receive his strength. He gives him directions along a winding path that leads to a ledge. Once there, he must jump into a river that will take him to the fountain of blood. On the way there, he meets a merchant that sells trinkets for task tokens. He buys a staff to help him traverse the winding path. He jumps off the cliff and enters a river that leads to a fountain that is in the center of a cave with the top open so that moonlight lit up the fountain. He gets to there and washes himself in the blood. Suddenly, he feels an energy enter him, and a demonic voice laughs. Suddenly appears in a prison inside the mental hospital, and Danny laughs at him, saying, "The fountain was a trap portal to my cell that I now have you locked in. Danny, now that I have you in here, no one can save you, your friends and everyone you love." Danny laughs one more time and leaves the hallway to the cell. Ryan tries to use his task tokens to break him out of the cell, but realizes he just spent all of his tokens on his staff. Sitting there puzzled, he gives up for now. Meanwhile, a cooler hasn't checked on Ryan in a while and decides to call him. Ryan still had his cell phone, luckily. Ryan asks his cooler, "Where have you been? I haven't seen you for training in a while." Ryan, long story, can you break me out of prison? Cooler, I can try. Ryan gives the location to Cooler. Cooler suspected this would be a challenge that needed a crew to decide. Oh, there's another error. He decides to take his own group called the Wizard Brotherhood, a group of powerful musicians he had been training in secret. They all head for the prison at nightfall. Stepping out of the shadows, they take care of two of the members of Danny's cult that were posted as guards outside. They enter in and see a spiraling staircase with many hallways. Cooler uses a spell of protection on everyone and tells them to each go their own way. Cooler sees two more cult members and vanquishes them with a single spell that knocks both unconscious as he navigates the hallways. Finally, upon entering a room with a piano, there lay one more hallway that led to a cell marked Danny. Cooler knew he had the right cell and radioed the others in, saying, "I found him." The cell was locked in an unusual way. They needed 3 keys that some what does it say? That somewhere in the mental hospital. Cooler orders the Wizard Brotherhood to search for the keys, but a search turns up the keys were missing. Cooler tries to spell a spell on the door to Danny's cell, but it won't budge. He needed to locate the keys. With the keys missing and Danny's remaining members of his cult returning with Danny soon, Cooler decides to leave. Ryan calls Cooler and tells him maybe the other cult members have the keys. Cooler senses this is a trap and that they don't have the keys, and the keys are being held in separate locations. Tells Ryan, I have a feeling this is a trap. The keys aren't with them. They are hiding it in a different location. In different locations. Cooler retreats back to his base located in an abandoned fortress to recuperate. Cooler senses that only Danny knows the location of the keys, but he must not destroy him. He must weaken him and then receive the intel from him to get the keys. Danny is high. No one knows where he is. Danny didn't even tell his followers where he was at. To find Danny, the Wizard Brotherhood decide to perform an ancient ritual that will invoke the goddess of knowledge. They all design the sigil and read in the book rituals that in order to summon the goddess, they need 3 flowers that she likes: the datura, hibiscus, and black rose. It must be grinded into a tea to be drank to summon her. They all search the areas that are specified to contain the flowers. With much searching, they eventually acquire all 3 flowers and grind them using a pestle and mortar and drink the concoction. Suddenly, all of them feel the effects of the powerful hallucinogen and are suddenly in a rainforest where they see trees that have thousands of faces speaking some language they did not know. Colorful, spiraling geometrical patterns dance around the canvas of the scenario. Eventually, they see one signaler instantly enter the fray. It was the goddess of knowledge. She had long, flowing brown hair and glasses. She spoke in a language they could understand. Finally, what do you seek? Cooler, I need the intel on where Danny is hiding. Goddess of knowledge. For me to give that information, you must first complete a task for me. Cooler, what? Goddess, you must go to the darkest part of your mind and fight the evil within you. I will go with you and guide you. Cooler, okay. They are taken to a village that sacrifice a person to the goddess. A man with one eye turns to Cooler and the Wizard Brotherhood this way. They follow him to an abandoned hut labeled insane here. There was a man with an injured foot that is talking to himself. Cooler notices that he looks just like him. He has the same ski mask. Cooler wastes no time and casts a spell to freeze him and then pierces his eye with the tip of his wand, defeating him. Cooler, that was too easy. But then he sees the twin Cooler get back up and cast a spell of flame all around him, so he's stuck with the flames all around him, unable to move. Evil Cooler, you're not getting me that easy. Evil Cooler then steps out of Cooler's mind, leaving Cooler in a vegetable state. The Wizard Brotherhood, thinking this was real, Cooler follow him. With no one to save Taskmaster, he awaits someone who could save him. Mr. Miyagi meets up with evil Cooler and suspects something is up. With no time to react, Mr. Miyagi knocks Cooler's wand out of his hand, and the wand falls down the drain. Cooler reaches to strike Mr. Miyagi with his fist, but Mr. Miyagi swiftly crescent kicks him, and then evil Cooler vanishes back to the real Cooler's mind. Once back in there, Cooler breaks the flame prison and snaps evil Cooler's evil Cooler's neck by casting the spell, and once defeated, they return to the goddess and receive a riddle. Danny is in a place where he liked to spend when he was a child. Cooler and Miyagi and the Wizard Brotherhood fight the remaining members of Danny's cult who are in the streets causing havoc. They capture one and interrogate him, and they find out his favorite place as a child was art class at school he used to go to. They go to the school and find Danny drawing pictures of dogs and cats. Cooler quickly draws his wand and shoots a spell that injures Danny, but Danny gets back up and lunges at Cooler and takes him to the ground. Mr. Miyagi tries everything to get Danny off of Cooler, but Danny manages to knock Cooler out by punching his lungs, making him lose oxygen in his brain and pass out. Mr. Miyagi finally breaks Danny off of him, only to get kicked in the groin and knocked out too. The remaining Wizard Brotherhood shoots spell at Danny, but Danny quicker than them disables their spells by destroying all their wands. With his skill deteriorate, just like his deteriorating mind. His condition was getting much worse. He would soon lose his mind for good. The wizards, unable to fight, give up and join Danny. Danny then locked them in other prisons in the mental hospital. Danny had collected multiple of his enemies into his asylum to brainwash into his cult. Meanwhile, Ian wonders what happened to the one person to defeat him, Taskmaster. Ian gives Ryan a call. I can defeat Danny. Ryan, how? Ian, I'm very similar to him. I've lost everything, even my mind. I have nothing to lose, everything to gain. I will defeat Danny and get the information before killing him on where the keys are. Ian arrives at the mental hospital, but Ryan tells him through his cell that Danny left through a black hole. Ian realizes that Danny and him can both hear each other's thoughts, as he is telepathic. He hears Danny say he'll never find me in Spogaden Realm. After the Joker was defeated for good, his realm, Spogaden Realm, was abandoned. This was the perfect place for him because it was another mental asylum. Ian opens up a portal using his hatred of the world and goes into there not knowing what would happen. Right as he gets in, Danny grabs his leg and carries him to a fire pit to burn him. Barrel rolling out of it, he manages to kick Danny in the lower jaw, breaking his jaw on impact. Danny, unable to talk now, mutters, "Okay, you win." Ian does not give him mercy and attacks his ribcage, leaving him wounded. Danny gets back up one last time as Ian towers over him. "Ian, this is your final chance. Ian, you give me intel on the whereabouts of the keys and I'll let you live. If you don't, it's sayonara for you." Danny finally confesses where he left the keys. They're in a graveyard at random graves. Ian goes to the graveyard and digs out every grave and eventually, I had to spell it right. Eventually finds the 3 keys and goes back to Taskmaster's cell and unlocks it. Using the same keys, he's able to release all the prisoners. Finally, they'd escape, but they speak amongst each other on whether or not Danny should be kept alive or killed. They decide Danny is not trustworthy enough to keep alive. So Taskmaster is given the task of terminating Danny. He enters Danny's room with a sharp blade and quickly slices his throat. Danny, finally eliminated, allows Taskmaster to level up to level 40, unlocking Barricade. But now that Danny was gone, he used the info Soul Taker gave him on how to trap his soul in a fortress that he would barricade, which made it impossible for him to escape. Now with Danny gone, the world was at peace for a while. His hardest adversary defeated, but this was not the end of his journey. There would be more tasks to accomplish on his journey to level up to 100 and become the best version of himself. Tomorrow, after dealing with hypertension the night before, the next day he feels it again in his chest. Taskmaster decides to take it easy and write his book till he feels better, not wanting to go to the hospital because it's too expensive. He stays in his apartment and talks to a person he met online named Tokro. He plans on meeting her one day. She sends him videos of her teaching him Hapkido and Nunchuck, and she instructs him to meditate and do yoga and breathing exercises to help with hypertension. He wants to bridge the space between them, but needed a way to get to her, and he was unable to teleport to her, also unable to walk because of hypertension. First, he must recover from hypertension before he can meet her. He tries to calm down. He had also just lost his cat named Saber because he had to give him back to his owner. He had so much grief inside and stressed with anxiety, he decided to be patient and wait it out. Finally relaxed, he decides it's time to make his trek to Tokyo by foot. Concerned for his health and not knowing whether or not he was okay to go, he reluctantly travels. It would be a 3-day trek through mountainous, dangerous territory occupied by the Owl clan, who did not welcome outsiders. He had to sneak past many guard towers, taking a break. He nourishes himself with food he got free from the village of people of Gojesa. He sleeps in a tent. He assembles. Suddenly he is awoken to some noise off in the distance that sounded like an animal dying. In the countryside, he gets directions to a camp. He will soon get the answers to what he heard. Somebody had captured one of his cats after they stole it from him. It was his cat Sugar being attacked by a cruel person. Taskmaster throws a smoke grenade that released THC smoke everywhere. As the smoke settled, the man was gone. Ryan chases after him through a mirror that led to a tree. Upon his discovery, he saw Tokoro, and the man had her tied up. Time suddenly stops, and a friendly noise shouts, "I've got you covered." It was Cho as he freezes time so that he could save Tokoro, but he also had to locate his cat that the man had taken. He opens a door to the vault with money in it. Cho shouts from the radio, "Sugar's in there." Suddenly, the laughter can be heard outside the room. And the man, "You must fight me before I can let you have your cat back." And I'm using the effects of time. Taskmaster, "Who are you?" He tells him his name is Chaos. Right as he says that, he turns into a dragon and pulls out a white owl blunt and lights it. The fuck is this? Yes, it lights it. Inhaling the smoke and releasing fire. I am the one who almost defeated Shrek. Toker, now released, fights off Chaos as Taskmaster uses his ability to unlock the vault and gets Sugar out of there. Toker dodges the punches to her midsection. She grabs her nunchucks and attacks to the right. Two more kicks to the groin. Dodging 2 more kicks to the groin. Tokoro, well, if that's how you're gonna play, then I can play that game too. With one strong, devastating kick to the groin, Tokoro defeats Chaos. Chaos drops his blunt. Chaos drops his blunt as he fades into smoke. Ryan holds his cat Sugar in his hands, already awaiting Tokoro outside, decides to punch it, and a horrifying appears, and they leave back to his apartment. Now that Tokoro was acquired to the team, they speak of a much deadlier threat. There was a man called Sandman who would cause people to go into a zombie-like state where they would sleep for days at a time, finally emerging from their slumber being dead tired and depressed to the point many people started killing themselves. The Sandman would administer sleeping pills to his customers, leading many to become hooked and dependent on those pills to sleep, or they would go days without sleep. There was another adversary working with Sandman named Anxiety, who would cause people to have anxiety. He strikes the world with anxiety. Now many are anxious and having panic attacks. Some not sleeping, leaving them to turn to Sandman for sleeping pills. Which ends up making them sleep too much and become dependent on his pills. Sandman becomes rich. Soon, using his wealth, he amasses an empire. Soon the whole world are hooked on his pills. He eventually sets up a legion of supporters all hooked to his pills to eliminate anyone who didn't join them. Ryan eventually ends up on these pills. So did Tokuro. The whole world is being put to sleep. In Ryan's dream, he meets a person hooked to the sleeping pills and knew of a cure. Taskmaster chases after the man as the man laughs maniacally, running at full speed down an alley that led to a corridor. He sees him shape-shifted into an object and vanishes. The object then reappears in a random place in the room. Taskmaster searches the brightly lit room with many contraptions. He sees the circular disc that the man had shape-shifted into and reaches out to grab it. Upon grabbing it, it turned into a notepad. Instructions are on the first page to do 500 push-ups without taking any long breaks. He ends up doing 400 and failing the challenge and being banished to impenetrable sleep, where he was stuck in a sleep state forever. With Taskmaster unable to wake up, there was only one who could defeat Sandman and anxiety.